Greetings fellow invaders, I'm Ducky, and this is my sort of little potpourri, if you will, of invasions and sort of just interesting little happenings in and around Dark Souls 3 the last couple of days. This little group is just, I'm actually just going to talk over this video. Thing is, I have a new microphone and I want to tell you about that, but you can probably hear it already. The audio quality is very good, much better than I'm known for, which hopefully is gonna silence some of the critics, which I have asked for to criticize me, obviously. But yeah, with audio quality on and somewhat more knowledge in Premiere Pro than I used to have, I have a feeling I can really take my videos a step further. Also, I've decided to jump on the remastered bandwagon. The thing is, I'm just getting more and more frustrated with the player base of Dark Souls 3. They are brilliant. Make no mistake about it. My friends, whom I have on Steam and play with, and everyone who I meet and stuff, they're good enough and they're fun enough to play with. But I really get tired of the same old, if you will. And I want to play Dark Souls 1 again. I haven't played it since 2013, I think, or 14 perhaps. I don't remember, but it's a long time ago. I've put almost no hours into it, 100 hours, that's a sample in the Dark Souls community. And I've done no PvP in it, none at all. Dark Souls 2, I've got like 100 hours just PvP, and in Dark Souls 3 I have 1200. Whoops. So yeah, 1200 hours, and I can still make mistakes with like the best of them. That was not a mistake, that was obviously highly calculated. I don't know what I'm doing. So yeah, lately I also missed, I lost a lot of clips pertaining to a fight I had with I Am Amish. Actually, 3 fights I had with I Am Amish, one of which I forgot to record. Now I managed to actually capture the first fight. It was very good. We had a lot of fun, but I sort of managed to fuck up the clips and edit the native hard file, sort of, it's just fucked up, and it was not good, and I had to delete it. And I had a third fight with I Am Amish, which I had to delete as well, because I managed to edit out half of the frames to make it 30 frames per second, which was painful for me to look at. So yeah, that was a bummer. They were good fights, and I thought I'd talk a little bit about what a good backstab fisher looks like, what he looks for, and how I started to manage to read Amish, and he obviously very well could read me, and we started to get a feel for each other's moves, and we also fucked around a lot and just tried things on each other. We never went try hard, I think. That was not the plan. Anyways, easy come, easy go, I suppose. I also managed to fuck up all the videos I had on my non-twink versus twink build video because of the same problem. So apparently I had a problem with Premiere Pro, and a fix suggested that you should push your raw files through a program called Handbrake and stabilize the frame rate, which I did, but I checked the wrong setting and made it 30 FPS 1080p, and I don't want 30 FPS 1080p. I can't do 30 FPS 1080p. Lots of the videos were frame perfect, so I didn't sort of want to use that. So it all went out the window, And that's fair enough. It was only a couple of 100 hours, I think. And now my SD card is full, and it's just, yeah, it's time to pick a different game for the time being. So here I'm out fishing blues with the mace. It's hard enough with the mace as is. Blue also has super lag, and the host is obviously very talented and hangs back with the magic, and I have to just beat a retreat because it's a super difficult position to be in. So I'm done rambling about my life now. I can go back to actually rambling about these videos, but there is not much to talk about really. This is just some sort of back and forth between me and the Blue, who is very, very PvE oriented, if you will, but has the sort of lag that makes it really hard for me to deal with. So, you know, it's gonna be interesting to try a FromSoft game or any kind of Souls game on launch, really, because my problem in this game is sort of the player base is too spread out these days. So I get the occasional, this guy's probably got American connection, and that's good enough to me. If it's a good connection, I'm quite happy with that. But if it's like Southeast Asian or South American and they're on Wi-Fi, I'm just gonna write the whole invasion off as done, because I can't deal with that sort of latency. It's really hard, and especially when you consider that I don't base my builds on what is effective, I base my build on what looks good. And this build has the rapier, which just happens to be somewhat effective. Not as effective as a straight sword, obviously, but I like it. It also has the flamberge, which is extremely effective, but it also looks really, really good and has bleed. So I'm quite good with that for my sort of Karthus tank sort of warrior thing. I'm not quite sure what I've done with him, but I like him. You will also notice I use a lot of resin. I've just discovered that I should get much better at this, because resins are just super good at low levels, especially the Golden Pine bundle. It'll add like 70 or 80 flat damage, I think. I have actually looked at the numbers, and it will definitely 4-shot phantoms no problem on a great sword, which is good enough. Great swords are fast enough in this game to be very viable indeed. It's going to be interesting to see in Dark Souls 1 though, because they are not very fast there. You don't have the obvious guaranteed 2-hit combo on every weapon. It's not that easy. It's more methodical, but then again, I've been practicing my fishing, so it should be slightly easier to get into the PvP, especially against new players, which are the people you have to practice on if you want to get good at this game. You have to start somewhere, obviously. So yeah, this invasion is also just a sort of, you know, that's what I get these days. I get a guy who's super passive and just rolls around, and I get a phantom who's also very passive. None of them will separate, none of them will move into the level, and also he's got a way of blue on, so obviously he's going to get a blue every 30 seconds until his slot is full. Some of these people get like, I invade them when they're alone, and they get 2 helpers inside 3 minutes. Which, you know, they're obviously going to have a much higher chance of winning with that sort of assistance coming that quickly, which is, and as a system, I support it. It works. The only problem is, if it's fingered, they're going to have 3 blues inside 4.5 minutes, and I'm not going to get another red. necessarily at all, because the you know, it's area specific, whereas the Blue Covenant will just pull you from anywhere. Sort of balance against Reds, aren't they? Well, I guess we just have to deal with it. They're not gonna update this game again, obviously. Maybe they'll make it remastered in 5 years, 6 years. You know, this game is showing its age after all. It's not the sharpest knife in the toolbox. So I just sped up a little bit there because I was running around looking for them. I know where they are now, and yeah, I'm just gonna go and fetch them. But I fucked up, didn't I? I fucked up. Have you had Invasions Blues Balls, or whatever it's called? Blue Balls? Yeah. Yeah, that's what I got. Now this is another thing entirely. Cathedral, my normal invasion spot. This is the fastest invasion I've ever done, 2v1. And it's pretty much, it's self-explanatory really. With Buff, I catch him with roll catch. I try to delay, but he reaction rolls. Then I catch him with a classic 2-hit. He's already dead. It's gone 20 seconds. For some reason, the host turns his back to me while swinging, so I get backstab. And then I catch them with a perfect roll catch, and it ends the invasion at 28 seconds, 22 milliseconds, or whatever it is. That's I just throw that in there because, you know, quick and easy. So yeah, I really enjoyed the activity and press that Dark Souls 1 has been getting. Everything I was hoping for in that game happened. And yeah, they could have addressed the backstab issue. They could have addressed many of the glitches. And don't get me wrong, they're parts of the game that are wrong and not functioning properly. And this is not a argument in their favor, but I kind of find them to be endearing and funny in their own way. And that's my personal observation on that. I'm not saying I want them to be there, but I'm not saying that I complain too much that they didn't take them out, because to me they're not breaking the game. This is also a very good backstab. I like this one, so I threw it in. Oh, fighting on bridges is so good. Damn. Another one of these. It's a 2v1. The host is probably never gonna move out of this little safe space in here, which is fine. You play the game as you want to. I'm just gonna make fucking life a difficult fucking chore for you. It's I'm out fishing here, so I'm not even trying to sort of try hard here. I'm just out trying to land some silly backstabs, put them in a montage, and get attention on YouTube. That's what you do. That's what this game is about. Montages and attention on YouTube, and I like it. I like it unironically, actually. You've been really good to me, you viewers. And that's not meant to sound nasty. It's just fact. So I don't need to hide it. I just like the attention. That's fair. I'm sure that's fair, isn't it? Anyways, gonna beat up these guys. I love that he actually put his sword in both hands so that I could set up parry the second swing instead of having to wait for the third one. It's sort of just one mistake and I'll win the invasion, but you know, I'm gonna have to take that mistake because there's two of you and there's one of me. So I'm gonna have to sort of rely on every sort of chance I can get. So this is another thing. You got a host there You got a host with very, very good sort of a very good weapon, I'd say, and you got a Phantom who is a password summon, obviously, because of course trying to beat the game on your own is just silly, and trying to get your friend to play the game and then making a character and playing the game alongside him, as you would do if this was sort of a launch day and you'd get the more dynamic experience. Why not just get your level 200 friend out and have a little bit of fun? In all fairness to him, he was sort of good, but I'm not quite sure yet that the backstabs he landed were lucky or just skills, because obviously they wouldn't take much skill when he can just circle strafe like that and get a backstab for some fucking reason. I must have been sleeping here. And I don't get the backstab, and he's fat rolling as well, which sort of supports the conclusion that he's not actually very skilled at all. Trying to get the pivot, but obviously I'm good. So since I'm not I'm Amish, or I'm not T-Leaf, and I'm not pretty much anyone else but me, I can't land pivots reliably, and you know, it's my failing amongst many. And I'm just gonna bail out here because I ain't gonna spend more time in this room. And they got a whip out and everything, and the Phantom, the host I mean, was just spamming the weapon art on the Wolf Knight Greatsword, which again, he has been twinking. He has been twinking, summoning in Phantom, summoning in blues. The blue is twinking, the Phantom is twinking, I'm twinking, and you can just shut the fuck up about it, right? You must twink. And I'm going to Dark Souls 1, and I hope I run into someone who complains about twinks. I really hope I run into them, because I'm not gonna hold back. Oh, I've got such mountains of salt built up. You must experience. You must feel the pain. Yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna be a fucking brutal little bitch about it. So I'm gonna have to find them again. Gewalt. Oh, there they are. Let me just not get parried by that very well placed parry that you threw out, because you obviously almost pretty much knew what I was going to do. Not even trying to go for the setup, that's disappointing. I go for the roll around backstab, which is very hard to land. So I got really kind of lucky there. And he parried me, actually. I didn't expect the setup parry, that was good. I actually didn't expect you could land the setup parry on the rapier on the third swing. I thought you'd have to wait for the... No, on the fourth... He parried the fourth thrust. And I thought you had to wait for the third. But, you know, well, there you are. So he's just spamming weapon arts. That's killed all his stamina. So now I get the free guard break, which of course is not an option in Dark Souls 1. It's going to be interesting. I get wake up parry. And I think that's it, really. I sort of finished the host there. Never got to find out what level he was, but I'm pretty sure he's not so level 40. There's another one. I've just compiled together some of the larger ganks I've also dealt with, or ganks, you know. Gankers pay the price, but these are just people with Way of Blue on. And what do you call them, really? Summoners? Summon class? Because he's not ganking, because obviously the red-haired individual there was the host. I suppose he is actually hosting blues in this one, because he's not attacking. Rhea of Kareem cosplay here. She's actually a blue, and the reason I started recording this because I was so annoyed at the playstyle. I'd been chasing this person around for probably 10 minutes, and they had just been running away all the time while we both looked for the host. And then he found the host and just hung around the host. And the host wasn't attacking because the host was obviously hosting, like hosts should. So she ended up sort of just trying to get parries on me, and you know, when I play aggressively like this, you're really gonna struggle with it. I'm not saying it's impossible, it's just not easy if you don't know very well how I play. Yeah, anyways, so she's dead. There was another blue, but I don't think he survived. Now the host is gone, so I'm gonna have to go and look for him. Because I actually want to kill the host, even though they're hosting. I'm way filled up on tongues at the moment, and I've got more embers than I can count, so probably more than 10. Here I run into a trap, that's interesting of me. My superior intellect showing, leaking through, dribbling out, I should say. So yeah, I'm just speeding up these clips because, well, it's well over 10 minutes, I think, of just running around looking for the host, and I'm running in circles even just to see if I can catch them up. Well, I'm not very good at looking for things. I've been known to look for glasses that I have on my face and car keys that are in the ignition and stuff like that. So, you know, what can you do? So, more blues coming in, and blues have found the prism stone thing, where you just throw prism stones down a place where you would die from fall damage, and it makes a lot of noise, which is good. It means I can find them and backstab them like this. Yes! And not roll catch them because I'm just trash. I don't even know how I got 1,000 hours in this game. It must have been in the start menu. And a backstab, I forgot to resin though, so miss another roll catch. God damn, I suck. Oh, and you drink in my face. You get a couple of R1s, which do as much damage as a backstab, I should mention. Managed to get myself guard broken. I'm not the ideal commentator on these. I like to just tangent off and talk about myself. So I gotta swap to the rapier of that. I'm not gonna land any of these backstabs anytime soon, so it's gonna suck. And he's got slight latency, so it means that his hitbox is just silly big, and mine isn't. I'm gonna have to chug a little bit, but he's a blue, so he's gonna drop 2 Estus. Here's another blue, that's gonna be fun. So now I'm gonna bail out, because no fucking way I'm not gonna fight a large heavy weapon and a small fast weapon without having some support of my own. And now I'm running around with low health because I don't have time to heal, but I kind of want to just make them follow me and think I'm on my last limb, think I'm sort of threatened by them. No, not a backstab there either. I did everything wrong, but I was too far away. And thankfully he followed me down. No, I don't get the backstab there either. I'm not good at this, you know. I can't actually play this game. I only just learned the controls after 1,000 hours of PvP. Yeah, so when you show up with no vigor, and the enemies seem to be sort of new game +5 or whatever, they do a lot of damage at least, you're gonna have a bad time. So in very quick succession we managed to get rid of 2 blues, which we did manage to, and I'm gonna find the host again. Host is completely vanished for me. I don't know if I'm just dumb, which is always a possibility. I could also be blind. I decided to take another route and sort of try to look for them, but you know, being both dumb and blind, I obviously miss the host for some reason. So I finally notice the summon message, and I make my way back to the sort of area after the Abyss Watchers. It's not a bonfire, but hey. So now the host has summoned 2 phantoms, and I was sort of disappointed there because I thought he was hosting blues, and I was going to spend a lot of time in his world, and we're going to have a lot of fun. Now he's summoned in 2 phantoms, and now I don't know what he's on about anymore. Are they randoms? Are they people he know? They all seem to be... I mean, they're twinking. At least one of them are. And here I think he's going for an attack, but it was actually just one. So he's letting me fight them, which is good. So this guy is spectacularly interesting because he just lets himself be roll caught. Roll catching is Dark Souls 3's version of chain backstabbing, and idiots will just get caught completely and will have no chance. Can't get a backstab on him, that's unfortunate. But yeah, that's the Great Sword of Judgment, the coolest named sword in the game. And these white phantoms, oh, twinking, at least a little bit. Probably someone the host knows. I'm gonna go with that. So we go a little bit back and forth. I switched to the obviously superior rapier just to bait him out. I switched to the flamberge one-handed so that he'd switch to his weapon one-handed, and then I switched to rapier and got a very quick setup parry before he could react to it. I think that was tactics. Thought I'd killed him. Ended up getting a little bit panicky at the end there because I'm not very good. I don't know if this has come across, but I don't actually know what I'm doing. It's just this is just conjecture and editing. Yeah, this is another one of these very obviously new players, but which I have a little bit of trouble with because I get too nice to them sometimes. And it's a new player. You should be nice. Oh, they just put down the game if they don't think you're nice enough. But then they put on Way of Blue, you know. So I'm fooling around here, thinking all is well and good. We're gonna have a lovely little fight. I'm being slow. I'm being obvious. I'm being super easy to punish. I'm not laying it on. I'm not pressuring. I'm just, yeah, you know, we're just having fun. I'm gonna show him that holding his shield up is not interesting or a good idea at all. Well, he has Way of Blue on. Probably because Way of Blue is the first covenant you get, and you're very obviously gonna put it on. But it's still sort of, you know, I can't be nice to you anymore, you know, and it breaks my heart a little bit because I want to be nice, but these fun police are ruining all the fun with me and the host, and now I have to go and defeat everyone with harsh methods. Sort of breaks me. I wish covenants were more interesting in Dark Souls. I wish blues had to actually invade instead of being auto-summoned. I wish summoning was sort of area specific, and I wish there was an invasion covenant that was not area specific, that was just global. That would add up a little bit of fun, because low level invaders could probably invade into higher level worlds. That would be interesting, I suppose. Anyways, so I'm gonna hide out here because fuck if I'm going down there and facing 2 blues and a host. That's just not fair. Even for a very experienced invader, it's not fair to put him against 3 people and not expect him to get mob support, even though the mobs here are trash. So instead of mob support, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get some intelligence support. This is intellectual play. See how they thought I went into the level, but I actually hadn't? That's a ruse. And funnily enough, a ruse is a very, very clever hint to a very interesting build I'm planning in Dark Souls 1. Once I can afford it. Once my paycheck comes in. And it's late. And the game is out early. And this is not good for me. So yeah, I'm just gonna kill this host very, very quickly because the blues are away. The blues have gone to complete the game for the host. So now I'm gonna complete the host for the blues. See what I did there? It was a joke. Yeah. So just leave me alone with the with the host, and there really isn't much the host could do because I just wanted to have fun, you know, and he didn't, and it had to end how it ended. Sorry guys. See you around.